Hey guys, how you doing? It's me, Art from Tech Now Guy. Today we're going to go into more of a deep dive. I'm going to split it up into 6 parts. That way it's a little bit more digestible. But we're going to build a site from scratch. And it's actually a project I'm working on. Right now I'm in the process of running 3 websites in parallel. The first website is Tech Now Guy, which is our original startup, which is a technologies company. We do hosting. We put in systems for small businesses, mid-sized businesses, individuals to help them grow and flourish. And then the other website would be Tech Now Store. It's an online clothing store. It's sort of a passion project that I'm doing with my nephew. He started coming up with designs for his clothes. I was like, hey, let's do a store. Let's do an online store. Let's make it happen. Let's take action. So I got into it too. I started getting back into my drawings when I was younger. That's all I used to do, was just draw in the basement. I lived in Detroit. It was like, go outside, fight all day, because you had to either like dodge gangs, packs of dogs. I had a neighborhood bully. Like, it was either that or I could go in the basement where my little laboratory was, and I would draw all these comic books and everything. So I got back into it. It's really cool. So Tech Now Store is the other one. It's an online clothing store. And then the third one is Tech Homes Now. So another one of my side hustles, because I'm all about creating more passive income, which you will see in more of these episodes coming up. Tech Homes Now is a buy and hold investment company. We also do fix and flips. So now, because we did do our it's a burst strategy. We bought, we rehabbed the property, we rented it out. Now I'm in the refinance process, and then we're going to repeat the process. But we already got a renter in there. Everything's great. Well, now I'm at the point where I need to actually establish communication, but have some type of buffer, right? You don't want tenants blowing up your phone at, 2 in the morning for a leaky toilet. So all the costs and everything are baked in. We have a property management company, but what I believe this sort of does is, first off, obviously, if you're in the 21st century and you're doing any type of hustle, you should have a web page, even if not. There's lots of reasons, but we want to have a web page. We want a buffer or just a platform for our tenants to communicate on, and then also reach out if the property management company isn't doing what they're doing. It's going to sort of keep everybody honest, right? We're triangulating. There's a couple different ways of communication, and obviously it's all for the benefits of the tenant, right? At the end of the day, we want to keep them happy, right? Give them a nice place to live. So this is going to help us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start building the website for Tech Homes Now, and you're going to watch me go through the process. Right now I'm starting everything from scratch, and you can see on the screen over here that we're at the Tech Now Guy website. Now, if you wanted to, we're going to say if you were actually doing this and you wanted to get started, you would head on over here to Tech Express Packages, selected this page, and from here you're going to see our Tech Express Packages. There's 3 different flavors we have right now. The first one would be Express Lite. Express Lite is, it says it right here. It's pretty descriptive. It's your basic sites, your blogs. You're starting up. You don't need a whole bunch of bells and whistles. You just need to get on the road and take off. This is the package you would use. Okay. And then the next one, it's a little bit. It costs a couple more bucks, but it's geared more for small business and bloggers on the way up. And then Express Ultimate. Is you're doing like what I'm doing. You're doing more than one thing. You have more than one side hustle or passive income streams. You need more than a couple platforms. You're doing something globally. This is going to allow you to scale content, distribution networks, a whole bunch of other added systems in here. So that's the creme de la creme. But Express Lite definitely will give you a good bang for your buck. And if you scroll down, this will sort of explain what's going on, what's included with all 3 products. And then if you hover over here, it'll actually give you a little tooltip. So if you don't know what some of these items are, like search engine optimization, you can hover over it and it sort of tells you what it is. Like for instance, white glove site migration. Some people don't know what that is. That's where we will, you hand over, say you're hosting or you have your domain hosted somewhere else. It's not doing what you need it to do. We can take your domain and we can transfer it over onto our platform with our white glove, untouched and nice, cleaned up for you and ready for you to expand. So anyways, there's going to be just a list of other things. Again, we also have 24-hour support, so it's not just a one-man show. There's a lot of other people that would be able to help you 24/7. Okay, so this will break everything down, and then of course if you wanted to sign up, you would click over here to sign up. This will take you over to the next page because we're going to ask a couple other additional questions. All right, so this would just be a recap on what's included in the package, sort of highlight, and then we're going to obviously ask you a couple questions. It would be your name and then what domain do you want. So I recommend if you have a domain picked out and you own it, that's one thing. But if you're not sure, you can always head over to the beginning in our homepage, and from here you can check. So if we go back to the beginning of the homepage, right at the very top, you can go and check and see if your domain name would be available. So we can say test domain and see if it's available. We go and hit enter, and then we're going to go out and search, and it'll give you a list of what is available. And testdomain.com is taken. So it'll give you some other suggestions, but anyways, you get the point. Okay, so if it's not taken, you wouldn't click on cart. You would just make sure it's not taken and then head back over to Tech Express packages. Okay, and under Tech Express packages, choose the plan that you would want, and for now we're going to go ahead and pick light, and that's actually this is the project you're going to see me build. So you're going to see me build Tech Homes Now underneath the light package. Okay, and so you enter in your full name, select your domain that you picked out, okay, your email address, enter in your payment information. You have two different ways to pay, so you can do month to month. Okay, and right off the bat, I just want to let you know that once you do the month to month, even if say, day 31, you just, hey, this isn't for me, I'm going to take a break, something comes up, you own your domain outright as soon as you make your first purchase, regardless if it's monthly or the year payment. So you own it. You can put it on the back burner if you need to put it on pause, and you own it. And then you can always come back and restart up, no problem. And we can help walk you through all of that. So you have two options. You have the monthly or you have the 1 year. Okay, and you save a couple bucks if you do the 1 year. You hit pay, and then from there, then the torch gets handed off to us. And from there, we would sit there, we would append your domain, make sure everything's up and running, turn on all the bells and whistles, sort of build your structure, your outline, all the management systems that we believe you should have in place. And then you would receive a notification with your username and temporary password. And then feel free to dive on in. We would also send you some additional support links like the Tech Bootcamp, resources to royalty-free images, audio, a whole bunch of other, just a plethora of stuff. We're not going to snowball you or just blindside you with a whole bunch of stuff, but it's there for the taking, all to help you just progress, right? Okay, so then once you do all this, I'm going to go and show you where the next part would start. Okay, and it would jump into the wizard. We would actually do this for you. So again, I'm doing this site for Tech Homes Now, which is our buy and hold investment company. So I'm going to go ahead and start. And then I'm going to do website and blog. And we are in the real estate. We are in real estate. And our slogan is Tech Homes Now and our slogan is "Stick it to the man." That's my mission all the time, is to stick it to the man, and I believe you should too. Okay, all right, so stick it to the man, and Tech Homes Now, and stick it to the man. Stick it to the man. Okay, so now that we got that done, we're gonna go over and so you want to add contacts, social media profiles, websites. So I'm going to go ahead and skip this for now. And then the next thing is going to do is just, and we'll also do this for you too. If you let us know, you can add in some notes. Let us know what you want. And give us a basic idea, because we can do a consultation too. Feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions. So shoot us an email, you can give us a call, and then we can sort of set you up with a template, some boilerplate images, sort of themes, so you're not just stuck trying to do everything with just a plain white backdrop. It helps sometimes to have something already in place. So themes, we would try to match up the theme to whatever your business or your organization or your cause is. For right now, we are doing, we are doing real estate, but at this point we're just trying to get something in place. Okay, I'll pick primer, and then I'm just gonna say preview, edit. I'm gonna pick this little house thingy right here because, oh no, this looks cool. Boom. All right, next, let's see, preview different website designs, close. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and select this. It's gonna install the theme. I don't want to get into the technical stuff, what's going on, but anyways, it's adding some stuff in the back end, files that you're gonna need when people could actually come and view it. So at this point, I'm adding in. When this is done loading, what I'll be doing is adding in some additional plugins. These are the main go-to things that I definitely would put in your site if you joined us and picked out one of the packages. And then it's gonna consist of a collective of things. It's going to be security, it's going to be backup, it's going to be SEO, it's going to be a lot of different things. Okay, so we have some general things picked out. Okay, and then the tutorial sort of walking us through it. I can dismiss some of these things. So right now, it's published, it's published. If you can see up here, there's a temporary URL in place. Obviously, it would be your domain. My domain would be Tech Homes Now. So there's some things I'm going to add. First off, it would be select my logo, which I might not be able to find right now because I'm actually in the middle of changing over or doing some updates to the hardware on my workstation. So it's probably not here. All right, I'm gonna throw that one out the window. Throw this out the window for now. Let's see, Tech Homes Now. Okay, for the footer, copyright. All right, so that's good enough. And now it's just gonna sort of give me an idea of what it's looking like. Okay, so now it's snapping me back to the dashboard. And then up here, I'm gonna go ahead and just visit the site just to sort of get a good look at it. Okay. Yeah, this is a good start. Okay. I'm sitting here and I paused it for a second because I'm contemplating, grabbing some stock image and putting it in here, and then also going out in and using some of my own content, because I do have some. I think there's a balance. Sometimes if you have too much stock images in your site, it's sterile. People aren't really used to it. They sort of a white noise to become jaded to the whole entire thing. Also, another thing too is don't get stuck on the design. People Still, a lot of people still believe that it's a design thing when they do their site. It just has to be just looking perfect. The functionality should be there for sure, but designs don't actually generate the business. If you don't already know that, your customers, your traffic should be educated and naturally want to be driven towards your cause, your business, by you educating them, right? Your site should be the catalyst to educate them. I've said this in a couple other video blogs. But anyways, that being said, I don't want to get hung up too much on this, right? Because I don't want to get paralysis analysis. The whole point of this was I'm going to try to get something up and running and have it somewhat presentable by, I want to say, within a couple days. Within a couple days, it should be presentable enough to actually have my real tenants come over here, be able to contact me through functioning forums, also update them with newsletters, and just some other additional information. So I'm going to make that happen. I'm going to make it happen in, I want to say, no more than 3 days. I'm going to go for less than that, but I'm also going to walk you guys through this. I'm going to chop it up so it's digestible. And all right, so I'll shut up and I'll keep working on this. I'm going to go back to the dashboard. I'm going to grab some other additional plugins that I like to work with. So right off the bat, you're going to see that there's some plugins that need some additional stuff. I do like to work with Beaver Builder. This is the light version, but it's a drag and drop page plugin. So it just allows you to drag and drop modules on your page and sort of see it happen in real time. And it's pretty easy to work with. Okay, so while this is doing an update, the next thing would be, say, contact widgets, gravity forms, ninja forms. Some of these are just come with the theme itself. I'm gonna go ahead and add some of my own. Okay, a big one for me would be Yoast SEO. That's a go-to. Okay, and the reason is this is sort of going to be your, I'm going to go ahead and click on install. Okay, but this is going to be your go-to, especially if you're new. Just critique you. Just like how on Microsoft Word you have spell check, and then it's checking your grammar. There's a built-in thesaurus. It's going through all your whatever you typed out and sort of checking it for you on the fly. Yoast SEO is like that, but it's for it's your search engines, they have their own grammar they're looking for. The algorithms are looking for specific things. Keywords. Are there too many keywords? Are there no keywords? Does your site, does your page on whatever you're talking about actually talk about what your title says? So if your homepage is all about cats and piano cats or whatever, that it actually talks about cats and doesn't try to hit you with spam or talk about something completely different, right? Because it's all about the user experience. And search engines are all about having something accurately described and indexed for people searching the web. So Yoast SEO is going to help you do that. Once you actually grab the plugin, it's not active yet. You just click on the activate button. Okay, and that's going to walk us through some other stuff. Should be ready to go after that. I'm going to continue to do these updates, get them out of the way. This is not the most, I'll chop some of this out. This is not the most exciting thing. And let's see, GoDaddy is part of I'm a reseller for GoDaddy. I'll go ahead and update that. And that's another thing I wanted to say. So underneath the hood, I have GoDaddy and all the resources to help assist us on a majority of our platforms to just help assist you. So that goes in with a 24-hour 24/7 support. If I'm not, me or my team's not available, there will definitely be somebody there for you on the back end. And then we pass on, because we're a reseller, we're able to pass on a lot of the discounts to you cheaper than if you were to go to GoDaddy. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and finish updating these forms. That's Ninja Forms. I'm on the fence with this one. I tried it a couple times. It does what it's a decent form, but I actually like. I'll wait for this to finish. I actually like working with Forminator. Forminator seems to have some other built-in functions I like. There's some quizzes, there's some surveys in there. You can also integrate it with, if you're using Google or Google for Business, I think they call it G Suite now. You can integrate your forms with that, so that way when somebody fills out your contact form, it'll populate in a Google Sheet or spreadsheet. And then you can do a lot of other stuff with that data. Notify you when people, well, it'll automatically notify you, but you can also use that to notify your customers when you have a new product, new service, some news updates and stuff like that. And then, all right, I'm going to, this thing is taking its sweet time. All right. So that's another one of the upgrades I'm doing right now, is I'm actually hardwiring things to my house. We moved out here in Farmington Hills. I think 2017. I spent majority of 2017 renovating a 102-year-old house in Southwest Detroit, where I've been born and raised. At the same block. I ended up buying the house off the auction from one of my family members. Anyways, long story short, I renovated a 102-year-old house, gutted it from the basement all the way up. That was a majority of my time. So now I'm over here at the new house, and I got a laundry list of things to catch up on. One of them is hardwiring my workstation so it moves faster. Because right now I think I'm only clocked in at 25 megabits per second, and I should be somewhere around 200. And being an IT professional for 20 years, that's really killing me. I'm trying to hold my composure. So anyways, I'm going to go add another plugin. Another plugin for me, like I said, is Forminator. And there's tons of plugins you can find here just by searching. Also, if you want to find some other additional plugins, you can head over to wordpress.org, and there is a plethora. Last time I checked, there was over 54,000. There's a huge ecosystem. Anybody can say what they want to say about WordPress, but long story short, they've been there for a long time. They're not new to the game. They got a lot of other developers and third-party plugins and stuff to help pretty much be a solution to any problem you might be having on a website, or some type of special feature that you would want. So actually WordPress is pretty nice. It's secure. With obviously nothing's 100% secure, but you can lock it down. It has a lot of support. Okay, so Forminator is the next one I use. Forminator is contact form. That's what mainly I use it for, but you can do polls, you can do quiz builder, and this just helps you engage more with your audience, whoever your target audience is or your groups are. Okay, so I just went and activated that. So now we have Yoast SEO, we have Forminator, we have Beaver Builder, which is again, that's drag and drop page builder. Okay, and I believe that's it for right now. I think that's enough. So I'm gonna go back here. I'm gonna go back to visit the site. And up on the top, you're going to see Beaver Builder here. Now, sometimes if the page wasn't originally built by Beaver Builder, it might not originally start up, because the code, in the background, the code's written different. It's not structured to actually work with Beaver Builder. So if you start a new page and you start it off with Beaver Builder, then your drag and drop features are there. Sometimes they won't be there, and that's because the code was written by another type of page builder or by something just directly in WordPress. Okay, and then let's see. So Beaver Builder loads. I'm going to say add something, and this will tell you right now. Yeah, okay, good. So this was built this theme was optimized for Beaver Builder. Okay, so I just drag and dropped something in here. Cancel. Okay. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to swap this image out. I'm going to close this. Discard my changes for now. Usually what I start off doing is I click up here on the left and hit customize first. That allows me just to get all my text, my headers, my hero shot right here, get it right. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select, I'm going to change this out, or at least try to play with this a little bit. So I'm going to add a new image. I think I located where my files are, team drive, and go to Tech Homes now. And I should see images somewhere around here. Okay. Alright, here we go. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this, and then I'm going to go grab my Detroit shot. Okay, so I'm going to start with the uncropped image first. And right now, I'm going to go back, but just for the sake of time, you really should be changing the titles, the captions. You should be adding the alternate descriptions. If the page doesn't load fast enough, it will tell you what the picture is about. Or the alternate text will. Description, you should be talking about some of these things because as advanced as search engines are, they still can't see pictures. So if you have some of the metadata here, this stuff, it will tell the search engine what's going on, and it'll also sort of increase your page rankings by you taking that additional step, taking the time to fill out the metadata. Matter of fact, I'm going to do it now. I've been talking about it so much. Okay, caption, it's Skyline, Detroit, and then I'm going to go ahead, a lot of times I just copy this. I'd rather have something than nothing. And then now I think it's set up to where sometimes it'll automate or auto crop where the dimensions of the header on the theme that you have. So I'm going to try to roll the dice in this one and see, I can sort of pick this area. I want the Rensen in there. That's sort of iconic to Detroit. Even me as a Detroit native, I believe all of it is, but that's my opinion. So I'm going to crop the image. And hopefully if everything goes right, it's going to update the screen, and voila, we got a nice little downtown Detroit shot. Okay, and then yeah, there should be an overlay on top of it. That way the text is readable. Once I click publish, that should push append the changes. I'm going to close this out, see how it all looks. That looks pretty good. Some of it got chopped out. I'm looking at rooftops here, so I'm going to change it a little bit more. I'm going to take a chop off the bottom. So I'm going back to the header, and this is what it is. Sometimes you're just going in here. I'm going to go and I'm going to go in, change out the image one more time, or play with the crop, and select and crop. Okay, there we go. And then select crop, and then see how that looks. Hopefully this looks a little bit better. So then when I publish it, I can actually see the Rensen, or all of it in the shot. And then I'll know when I close it out. There we go. There we go. And then also, if I wanted to, you can also play with how it would look inside of your phone or on a tablet. Sometimes I'll do that. Once I publish my changes, I'll flip around, I'll go to the URL, and look at it on my phone. I also have a tablet on my desktop, and I'll sort of play around with it like that. There's also emulators. I'll list them in the show notes of a place you can go to sort of see it snap to something different. Also on Google Chrome, there's the development console. You can hit that by hitting F12 on your keyboard, and if you hit F12 on your keyboard, the development console will open up, and then if you look back on your page, you can actually change the responsiveness to tablet or phone. Okay, and I'll do like a little small quick 5-minute clip about that. Okay, so right here I'm going to make a bold statement. I'm going to grab my visitor's attention front and center on my homepage, then give them an action to take. Alright, so I'm going to go back to customize, and that's my call to action. You should have call to action sort of peppered throughout your site. I'm still learning a lot of the stuff too. There's tons, there's just a monstrous, it's a huge topic. It's very wide. So you got design aspects, you got, I don't want to make it sound overwhelming, but SEO and inbound content marketing is pretty huge. A lot of shiny objects out there. I'm learning what works and what doesn't work hands-on. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and pretend like I know it all. I've been doing this for an extremely long time. I've been doing technology for an extremely long time, but there's always new stuff out there. And the SEO game, I'm still learning. But I'm going to show you what's been working for me so far, and just share it with you guys. So one of the things was pepper, call to action throughout your site. Also, they have this thing that's above the fold, and that's really when somebody first hits your site. What type of content or information do you hit them with right when they land on your page? And that's right now, this is going to be sort of my focus. So I'm going to go through the thinking process. I'm going to pause it for a second, come out with some bold statement and some additional stuff for them to take action, and I will pause it here in a second. Alright, so I decided I wasn't going to get too artsy-fartsy with it. I actually removed some of the stuff. To me, it seemed like it was a little cluttered. I don't want to confuse people or just to have it be too overwhelming when they land on the site. And then I won't know until I actually apply some analytics to it. No, it's not just qualitative analytics where I'm just using Google Analytics and, oh, I got 1 million people to land on my page. That's cool, but if nobody's buying something, it does not matter. Okay. What I'm really looking for right now is just to get it out here, and then start to, well, obviously I'm going to put all the analytics in place, but then I'm going to start to track with some heat maps, and I'll show you how to do that, of where people are actually going and where they're not going. I'm also going to put out some surveys to sort of be like, hey, what can I improve on my site? Once I start to see some of these, or get some actual feedback, some solid 40 to 60, comments on what I could use to improve my site or what I should do. Take some of those things, make them happen, especially the repetitive stuff that I might have missed. And then once I put those in place, start doing the heat map, so seeing where they're clicking on, seeing what they're not clicking on, and then fixing it from there. That's going to help me shift where my focus should be. So right now, it's just get it up and going, see how it lays out, and then see how the traffic sort of goes through the lay of the land, and then where they're not going, fix those things, right? So I simplified some of the things. So I'm just saying, tech homes now, if you're looking for a great place, start here. Right here, there's a little piece of code that fires off, and it gives you the option to contact. It's going to take you over to the contact page. I believe so. I have not been there yet. And then I'm going to go ahead and publish. Okay. I'm not going to take you through the painstaking part of watching me go through and write some of this stuff out, but I'm going to write something heartfelt that's definitely me. I'm not trying to appeal to all the masses and try to tell everybody what they want to hear. First off, I suck at doing it. I don't know a lot of people that actually can do that. It's pretty hard to do because everybody is unique. I'm going to just tell my story, make sure you tell yours. It's heartfelt. It's from, it's really from you, and it's genuine. I think that's the best thing. That's the best advice I could share with you at this point. So I'm going to close this out. I'm going to sort of see how it all sort of pans out. That looks pretty good. I click on start here, and that goes and takes me over to this form. I got a little map here and everything else. That actually doesn't look bad. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I think because I sort of like the way this fills. It's definitely a lot of white going on here. I'll change that out. But I sort of like the way it looks, the look and feel of this thing. But I'm going to compare this Contact Us with the Forminator Contact Us page, and then compare them side by side, and then pick my pony. Alright, so what I did is I just went and modified the Contact Us page, sort of the boilerplate stuff that was here. Added in our own company information, and then along here it's sort of just, again, boilerplate, name, email, message. You want to keep it simple. You don't want to ask a whole bunch of questions or personal information. Sort of steers people away. They shouldn't have to answer a whole bunch of questions or give a whole bunch of their personal information if they just got a couple questions to ask. So, and after here you have something to sort of keep out spam. So that came with boilerplate stuff. I added in personal information. But then I'm going to go back to dashboard. I'm going to try Forminator. Remember I said I'm going to do them sort of side by side to see which one I like the best. So here I'm going to click on Forminator down here on left. And then this is the Forminator dashboard. It'll give you some stats. If you got any form submissions, any poll submissions, quiz submissions. Gives you other additional information. It actually can get pretty in-depth here. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and create a form. I'm going to call this form Contact Us. Exclamation mark. Create. And that's going to go and open up again some boilerplate stuff. Underneath first name, you're going to see some short code here. There's other ways you can implement or modify things by adding short code, and I can explain some of that later on. But short code helps you, long story short, short code helps you do a lot of stuff. And it's like shorthand writing almost. So you add the shorthand or the short code, and then all of a sudden it'll plop up a huge form. So when everything's said and done, once I'm done designing this, I would grab the short code, go to the page I want to have this form pop up in, drop the short code, and then bam. So first name, email address, phone number, message. That looks pretty good. But if I wanted to insert something else, you can see you have a plethora of things to do. So you got a time, it's pretty self-explanatory. Date picker, time. So other than this, everything else seems to be cool. I don't see any of the fields I really would want. Okay, and then I'm going to play with the appearance a little bit. Placeholders, buttons. Padding. Right now I'm just trying to get everything up and going, so I'm really not gonna play with it too much. Maybe I'll do bold. I'll try bold. I'm gonna use all the default fonts. Form containers. Maybe I'll try a border. Yeah, I'll do some curved borders, see how that looks. And then thickness. Add a 2 since we're doing bold. I'm going to say it's solid. And what I'm doing right now is it's just the border around the form. It says it right here. But radius is the corners. So the more higher you put the number, the more curved the corners look. The thickness would be the actual line itself. So the higher the number, the thicker the line. 2 usually seems to be pretty good for the most part. For me, personally, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just click publish just yet. I'm going to flip through some of these other things and see if I want them. Okay, yeah, submission behavior. This is sort of right after they submit it, what they're going to see next. And then I think that right now the boilerplate stuff's okay. Eventually I want to come in here, I probably want to add my logo. Another thing I do like to check, make sure is the reply. What email, the subject, and then who can they reply to? I usually use a group email, and I set this up with G Suite. So if you guys are more interested on, attaching your domain to Google services or Google's enterprise services for business, I can also help you with that. But long story short, it allows you to do a lot of other things. I have like aliases, groups. So say if you're working with a team and sales handles all your sales stuff, and if there's sales related questions, what you can do is you can create sales at Tech Homes Now, which I will probably do, and then sales at Tech Homes Now will redirect and hit a specific members of my team, and it would be the sales department, or it would be the support team, or the maintenance department, which I actually will be using in here. But for right now, Office at Tech Homes Now is what I'm going to be using. And again, that's another alias that I have, and that's going to be who they would reply back to. That's also going to be, it'll reroute, it'll notify me and a couple other of my teammates. So the redirect URL. Okay, message, hide form. So you can make this thing redirect somewhere if you wanted. Let's see, method, page reloads, server side. So email notifications, send an email to the admin users, and then this is what I was talking about. And it's going to be Office Tech Homes Office, and I'm gonna pick. Let me get rid of my personal one here. This is gonna be Office at Tech Homes Now.com. Okay. And they can reply back to email address. All right, and then the subject, I'm gonna say customer request, and then okay. And then we're going to go ahead and this from Tech Homes Now, and then okay. This is where I want them to reply back to Office at Tech Homes. Shut that off for now. I don't want to rush through this part. I want to clean it up a little bit. I think if they do the form submission, I'll get the request. I'm going to email them something back asking whatever, or answering whatever it is they do, and then I'm going to have my signature on Office at Tech Homes Now. That's going to be pretty professional, and then they'll just have a response. Sometimes, I think sometimes with the confirmation email, and then all of a sudden they'll real answer from a person, it just, I think sometimes it clutters things up. So maybe I'll just leave that off for now. integrations. Okay, so I'm going to publish this first. Okay, and then here's the short code I was telling you about. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this. Okay, close this out. And then integrations. This whole, you can tie these these form submissions in because you're capturing your customer's email. You can have your email list. So obviously you don't want to spam the hell out of your customers or annoy them, but you can tastefully send them information, updates on your site, new things you got going on, new products, services, new causes, whatever it is, and then you can tie them into these third-party services, Aweber, MailChimp, Google Sheets, like I was talking about earlier, so you can add it into additional workflows, possibly sales funnel, like inside the back end being Google Sheets. So they fill out a form, it populates your Google spreadsheet, and then from that Google spreadsheet you can do all types of things. You can add you can actually sort of add some script, and it can start to reroute form submissions or do automatic mailers, all types of things. So this is pretty cool. It is a little more intricate though to do that. Maybe if you guys are interested, just go ahead and send me a notification, and maybe I can do another episode on just nothing but this, because this would go into your email marketing campaign. All right, so then the next thing, let's see, settings. All right, I think this is enough. So update that. I already got the short code. I'm gonna go back and I'm going to use the same page. So I'm gonna use the same contact page, contact us, and this is the original boilerplate stuff plus our information. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit with Beaver Builder, and I'm going to add a text, and I'm going to go see, and it allows me to add a new row. Sort of highlights where you're dropping this thing. Drop it in there, and here then it opens up the actual widget that I was going to drop in there. In this case, it would be the text editor. And then all I did, I don't know if you remember me, I copied the short code. I'm going to go ahead and click this. It applies the short code. I click save, and this is the beauty of short code. Once I hit done, I'm going to publish, and if everything works right, it should pop up. And it didn't. It'll make me look like a liar. Okay, so I'm glad some of this stuff's happening. It's not going to be all picture perfect. If I wanted to, I could edit this thing and make me look like a guru. Everything went perfect, flawless, one try. But that's not how it goes. It's trial and error. What makes me successful and actually generate business is by my tenacity. I'm so tenacious. I'm just so persistent, and then so that's how I get it, and then I'm very consistent. So that's how I'm keeping these things. So so sometimes in the background, like Beaver Builder has its own code. Long story short, some plugins don't play nice with other plugins, and when you try to do them on the same page, there's a conflict. So I'm thinking maybe this might be marginal. I'm going to go back in and I'm going to close this out. I'm going to say I'm done. Okay. All right. And then let's see, I'll add another row. Okay, so I added it up here, but if I wanted to, I could drag this all the way down here, where I just had it. Let's bring it to the top. We'll see if it's a marginal thing. So now I have another space or a row I made up here, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to modules. I'm going to add a text editor back in here. Try to re-add my shortcode. Click save. Done. And I'm going to publish. And okay. So this is some type of conflict between Beaver Builder and plugin. The plugin Forminator. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to just delete this. And I'm going to pause it. I'm going to find out why. And then come back and let you guys know. So right now I'm just going to say done. I'm going to keep the changes. I'm going to keep everything the way it looks right now. I'm going to go and just create a new page. Okay, so this theme right here came out with a couple. It created 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pages to work with. I don't think I need all of those right off the rip, but I'm gonna go back to home. I'm probably obviously gonna keep contact us. Services I'll probably keep. About us I would like to do blog. I'm going to do that because I think it's, yeah, I'm definitely gonna keep the blog in there. Portfolio, FAQ, gallery. One of these is going to go. Right now I think I want to simplify things. I just don't have enough content to have these tastefully done on the site, so I'm going to blow some of these away, and then I'm going to go back to my dashboard. I'll show you how to do that. But yeah, so while I'm here, originally while I'm coming back here to pages in dashboard is I want to add a page, because we're going to test to see if that really was a conflict where you had Forminator bumping into Beaver Builder and causing a conflict. So I'm going to go and create a new page, and this is going to be called Contact Us! Exclamation mark. And at this time I'm going to use standard editor. Okay. WordPress just made some changes. This is their block layout. Their older editor was it was chewy. I still think block editor, I'm still getting used to it, so to me this is still a little I'm still new to it. It seems a little wonky to me, but I get the basics. So you hit the little plus icon in the block editor. You would hit the little plus icon. You tell it that you want to snap in a paragraph, and then I'm going to add this short code. Okay. Hit publish, and then voila, that worked. So then it gives you the option to view the page. Sure enough, now it works. So always a conflict. We just we worked on it together. We figured it out. That's usually a good way you can tell. There's another way you can actually tell if it's causing a conflict, but it's definitely more advanced. I spoke earlier about the development console. If you were to hit F12 on Google, well, if you're in Google Chrome or using Google Chrome to do your editing, if you were to hit function 12 key or F12, it would open up the developer console. And then you can see some other things here like elements. And this is pretty much the whole entire page sort of laid out, all the code, and then what's firing off. And then if you were to hit console, like say if there's some type of errors, you would see them listed on the page. You can also see all your page loads happening here. I'm going to break down what a lot of this stuff does, because it comes in handy. It helps you speed up your page loads, what things are slowing down your site when it loads for the first time for your customers or your traffic. But this is another way you would be able to do it. I think this is too advanced for what we're trying to do right now. I'm going to close this out. So we were able to figure out that it was a conflict between the two plugins, Beaver Builder plus Forminator. Okay, so then I'm going to go back down. I'm going to go to dashboards, and I'm going to go to pages. So what I want to do is I want to clean up some of the pages. So for right now, I'm going to throw this gallery in the trash. I don't really have too much of a gallery right now. Portfolio, I honestly, as a new investor, I'm not new to doing maintenance, construction, and property management for larger investors. I start off the first part of my life doing that for other people, but I am a newer investor, so I don't really even have that much of a portfolio yet. I will, though. Mark my words. See the ambition in these eyes? See the ambition in these eyes? All right, so I'm gonna go ahead right now and wax out portfolio, and then if I decide to change my mind later, I can always go ahead and go dumpster diving, look through the trash up here. You see you got these hyperlinks, and you can dig through the trash, select this under bulk actions, and you can click on restore, or you can choose to permanently delete it. Once you delete it permanently, it's gone for the most part, unless you have backup, and I will also show you that. But for now, I'm just taking that off the plate. And the next thing, services, I hate to say it, but I'm probably going to throw that out too right now. And I'm also going to throw out FAQ. I'm thinking about it right now, and I just want to keep it simple. All right. And then under menus would be the next thing, because you're going to sort of, well, we'll see how it looks. Okay, so now that we deleted those things, okay, so the menu shrunk down a little bit. It's starting to look really simplified. And then my next focus would be coming up with which contact us page I want to go with. Honestly, I like the boilerplate one. They came with this theme. Okay, but if you wanted to play around with this some more, you could always come into here, click on themes, and you could actually switch it around. Don't be surprised if your stuff gets thrown around or jarred or just disappears, because you're changing out some of the code, and again, you could run into a conflict and insert things don't work right. But they're pretty easy to fix, and they're also pretty easy to go back. That's the beauty of WordPress. If you were trying to do all the code yourself, and it could be a nightmare, especially if you don't know what you're doing. So yeah, you would come in here, you could select your themes. Right now I'm just going to keep we're using Primer. I think that's pretty good. So I think for this is going to wrap it up for this episode. When I do come back, I'm going to sort of highlight on part 2 what I did. I'm just going to go over and show you the content that I added here, because obviously it's going to take some time. I'm going to have to pick out some pictures. I don't think you guys want to see me go through my whole process, but I will tell you why, or what my thought process was behind it, rather than you guys watch me dig through pictures for about 2 hours. So, okay. All right, I think that wraps it up. So stay tuned until next time. Remember, if you like what you see, give me a like. Or if you want to see more of this and stay updated, please click subscribe. And until next time, I'll see you in part 2. Peace.